Yo, what's up everybody? I'm Akeem Lawanson, and today's Fix of Entertainment news, Disney lays off a major player at Marvel Entertainment. We've got the lowdown for you. Now, Ryan Coogler's involvement in an X-Files reboot is likely happening, and we'll tell you all about it. Plus, Adult Swim has plans to air earlier come May, along with a few new animated shows you might be interested in. Let's drop it. Right, it's looking like Marvel Entertainment's chairman is out at Disney, with the consumer products-focused department reportedly being folded into various other parts of the company. Isaac Perlmutter's ousting as Marvel Entertainment's chairman is just one of 7,000 layoffs Disney CEO Bob Iger announced as part of the company's new strategic realignment initiative. Perlmutter, as the chairman of Marvel Entertainment, had quite the run, with reports of Bob Iger having to step in to stop the chairman from firing Kevin Feige back in 2015 after the two butted heads. Kevin Feige was running Marvel Studios at the time, and he's spoken about Perlmutter pushing back on his continuous efforts to diversify the MCU. As for the planned layoff of 7,000 employees, Disney is hoping it'll cut back on costs that tally to $5.5 billion for the company. Now, the layoff started this week, and in an email sent out to staff, Iger stated that this move is to create a, quote, more effective, coordinated, and streamlined approach to our business. Now, the layoffs will continue into the month of April, so it's looking like a slow and methodical approach, as thousands of Disney employees will soon be seeking employment elsewhere. Now, it's rather interesting that this is the first move Iger is making in his return as CEO at Disney. Now, you may remember Bob Iger served as CEO for 15 years before Bob Chapek took over for just a little less than 3 years. Now, Chapek's run as CEO clearly didn't work for the company, as we now have Iger returning in the very same role and seemingly dismantling the structure that Chapek had established at Disney during his short stint as CEO. Now, along with these layoffs, Iger is also doing some restructuring to some of the main pillars at Disney. Now, moving forward, the company will apparently operate under three main branches: Disney Entertainment, ESPN, and Disney Parks. Now, whether or not these cuts and restructuring will fix things over at Disney remains to be seen, but it definitely seems Iger is set on course correcting some of the missteps made during Bob Chapek's time as CEO. Now, just to note, Bob Iger has a 2-year contract as CEO for Disney, and he currently has no plans to continue his tenure as chairman after that time period. Now, handing the conversation over to you all watching, what do you think about this shakeup over at Disney? Now, this is obviously public news now, so curious to know what you might think is the real reason behind Bob Iger making these massive cuts to the workforce at Disney. Let's talk about it down below in the comments. Now, in other news, there seems to be even more truth out there, as apparently the hit supernatural series The X-Files is getting a reboot. The creator of the series, Chris Carter, had this to say while on the CBC podcast On the Coast.
I just spoke to a young man, Ryan Coogler, who is going to remount the X-Files with a diverse cast. So he's got his work cut out for him because we covered so much territory.
So while there's no official word from 20th Television on a reboot of The X-Files, based on the creator's conversation with Black Panther director Ryan Coogler, it's at least in the early concept stages at this particular moment. Now, Ryan Coogler's production company, Proximity Media, is under a 5-year exclusive deal with Disney Television, so this might be one of the productions slated to fall underneath that particular banner. Now, The X-Files is currently celebrating its 30th anniversary this year, with a fan fest for the show happening July 7th and the 8th. You can find out more information about it online. Now, looking at Adult Swim, it appears we'll be getting an extra hour of the adult animated programming on Cartoon Network. Now, speaking exclusively to Deadline, the president of Cartoon Network said, quote, "We're all feeling more possibility this year," and went on to say, quote, "We've always, in every iteration of this company, been this little animation operation in Atlanta, Georgia. We sort of invented our own set of rules because we weren't in New York and we weren't in LA." Now, he went on to talk about how the market has calmed down a bit, giving them more opportunity to spot talent in the animation sector. And with Adult Swim making the move to prime time on television, it'll be interesting to see how Adult Swim leads the charge in adult animation. Now, the new early block of Adult Swim kicks off May 1st. And fortunately, we won't have to wait too long as Genndy Tartakovsky is leading the charge with his new animated series, Unicorn Warriors Eternal. Now, we got the first trailer of the new animated series from the creator of Dexter's Lab and Primal, which is scheduled to premiere on Adult Swim May 4th. And given the show's exploration of reincarnation and visual aesthetic, it appears it'll be more mature in nature. That's not to mention, it'll be airing on Cartoon Network's adult animation block. And with the fourth and final season of Samurai Jack and the 2 seasons of Primal, Genndy has definitely been leaning more on adult-oriented animation. And looking at Unicorn Warriors Eternal, it definitely fits the bill. In even more animation news, the My Adventures with Superman series is also coming to Adult Swim. The Jack Quaid starring series will be airing in the early block of Adult Swim's primetime block, set to kick off sometime later this year. Now, this particular series will definitely be more kid-friendly and seeks to explore the early days of Lois Lane and Superman with all the action, romance, and comedy that comes with it. And that was your entertainment fix for today. I'm Akeem Lawanson, and thank you so much for watching. Now that you're caught up on today's news, please check out our previous episode. Download the IGN app on all your devices, and for everything else, stick with IGN.